Big D Energy, Thirsty Thursday here. D-Mac, Lindsey Hunter, KG, Spenmo, Rax, the crew. Breaking it down, we're just talking trade deadline till 3 p.m. Pistons are pretty much adding a lot of guys, but nobody worth talking about. Except for maybe Fettuccine Alfredo.
Fettuccine Alfredo and Grimes are solid.
And then it was brought up to me, we just made a trade for a guy who set a record for not scoring points.
Yeah, Richie Archidinaccio. First player in NBA history, 20 straight games, no points at all.
So we got that going for us.
Yep.
What a time.
What a time. But so, Lindsey, last thing on this, though. Is it the splash? Is it that player, whether it's drafted or free agency or whatever, that makes that difference? Or is there another way out of it? Like, you just sitting back and waiting? Just sitting back and waiting until something is done, something's made? Because as a Pistons fan, when does it get better? When do you tell me it gets better?
I don't know, man. We sit here and we talk about. I read in the chat someone's like, is Weaver really all that bad if he got all these talented players on the draft, but they are too young to win games yet?
Yes.
Look, I'm not here to criticize what Weaver does or what the front office does. I'm just saying, I want to see a clear-cut plan.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. I want to see a clear-cut plan of attack. Like, what is our plan?
Yeah.
Do we have a plan to how we're going about doing whatever we decide to do? Is there a plan at all? Like, or are we just throwing darts in the dark? Like, I don't like that feeling.
So right now, can you honestly say, let's look at the four teams, right? Where as far as seeing their plan, right? Seeing their plan. I'm going to put the Lions on the top. And then I'm going to put the Red Wings. And then I'm going to put the Tigers. And then I'm going to put the Pistons. Because the one thing that I don't know, and even with, Scott Harris, and we talk about it not spending and stuff like this, but there is sort of a direction that they're going inside the organization, draft and different stuff like that, bringing in different pitching guys, all this different stuff. You can see that, okay, they're going to do something. We'll know more here, in a week, pitchers and catchers report. So that's on. There's no direction, right? There's no direction. So until that, how do you know? And that's the most frustrating thing, right? And even as a fan, and not just as a former player, right? I can get frustrated in the pace of the progress,
right?
But if there's progress being made, then I have to sit back and allow my GMs to do it, right?
Exactly. And I think that's the most frustrating part is, we had the season we had last year thinking that we were going to be in the sweepstakes for Wembanyama, right?
Nope.
Everybody thought we had the worst record. We had the highest percentage chance to get the number one pick, and we got fleeced, right?
Yeah.
NBA don't like us like that.
And we got fleeced. So now we go into this year thinking, okay, Asur's a good piece, talented young guy.
Cade's back.
Mm-hmm. And this is from my perspective, I thought we would be what the Houston Rockets are in the West. I thought we would be comparable to the Houston Rockets. They're not lighting the world on fire, but they're hovering around right under 500. Maybe they get back to 500 every now and then, but that's where I figure we would be. And we've regressed. So to me, that's the frustrating part.
Now, here's one of the things, and this I just remembered it, because earlier in the season, Monty Williams came out and said, this team cannot handle adversity. Have you seen them get better at that? Because that's the maturity, right? When things go bad, they expect it sort of to go bad. Have you seen improvement? Do you see direction out, or honestly, no? You just, what do you got this team? What, they got 7 wins now?
Yeah. It's hard for me to see improvement when we're the worst team in the league. And
like last night, right? With Jane, and you came out and said that that's more of a misnomer. That's not something that you're going to see consistent. It's great that he did it, but
yeah, I mean,
until you see it.
I was arguing with someone, and I think Jaden Ivey is a good player. I think he's talented. I think he's good. He's got a lot more to learn, but I think he's good. But he's not John Morant.
No, of course not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, there's levels to this. Like, and people sit around and think that, you know, oh, a guy's gonna, and guys do get better. Even I mean, John Morant was the Rookie of the Year. You know what I'm saying? So John Morant's a freakish athlete, so that's just a different level of player. And I don't think it's fair to even put a label on him. Oh, he's like John Morant. No, he's good at who he is, and he has some ability, and he can be a viable player in this league. I like him. But we're just like watching us every night continue to just be broken every night. Like I watched one. I think it was last week, and it was a tight game we were playing. I can't remember. I think maybe with the Clippers. We were playing the Clippers, and it was a tight game. And the Clippers hit a three.
Yeah.
Boom. And it kind of pushed the lead up to like 8 or 9. And you could see our guys do this when the ball went through the net. Everybody did like this. Here we go again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, absolutely. And that's, you know, a lot of time when we talked about last segment, like the youth, but the experience. But that's where, to me, they don't have the guy on the bench to go, you know, you got to fight through it. I mean, how many times that happened back in the day, and it would just galvanize you to get better. I think Alex Haggerty brings it up the best. Think about this. Yeah, they won 2 games in like a week and a half. They're better. That's right?
Yeah.
Which he's technically correct, but that's sort of how bad it is. So
and I know it's frustrating for fans too, because, you know, we don't know what's going on inside the organization. We don't know what's being said. We don't know what and I mean, I'm sure I would assume they have a plan, but we don't know. So watching what transpires makes me at least feel a certain type of way. Like, damn, what are we doing? Like, what's our plan? Can I see our plan?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you don't know, you know, you speculate on, and normally when you're losing, you speculate the negative. That's just the nature of the business.
well, it's the whole thing too, and you know this from when you have to. There's a teaching and a learning of how to win,
right,
and how to win consistently,
right,
how to win properly, but also how to win right. You don't just they don't just give away championships. They don't just give away wins. It's a tough thing, but you have to learn, and you have to learn as a team. And I know basketball can be an individual sport, but it is so team. It is so team oriented.
Yes.
I guess the bottom line out of all of this, right, is when are we out of this, or when are we progressing?
That's a good question.
Because right now, Lindsay, just talking to you, is that all these moves and stuff like this. I use the analogy about chairs on Titanic, but it's just we're just spinning our tires in the mud. We're not moving anywhere. Neil and I use the analogy of 75. Where's everybody moving on 75 and stuff like that? Like Lions just crossed the bridge,
right? You know,
but it's like spinning tires in the mud.
Yeah.
So please let us know when we can have some hope.